Ethan Cole was the kind of man people admired without really noticing. At 34, he lived in a modest apartment in Brooklyn, worked a steady job as a data analyst, and kept his life simple. He exercised 3 times a week, avoided junk food, and rarely got sick. If you asked anyone who knew him, they'd say, "Ethan? Yeah, he's healthy. Solid guy." And for the most part, that was true, until one night, everything changed. It started innocently. Ethan was lying on his couch after work, scrolling through his phone. A headline caught his eye: a silent disease affecting thousands. Symptoms often ignored until it's too late. Curious, he tapped on it. The article described a rare neurological condition. It started with mild fatigue, then came headaches, muscle weakness, eventually loss of control over the body. Ethan frowned. Fatigue. He had been feeling a little tired lately. Headaches? Well, he did have one earlier that week. He read more. The deeper he went, the more uneasy he felt. By the time he put his phone down, a small seed had been planted in his mind. The next morning, Ethan woke up feeling off, not dramatically sick, just different. He stood up, stretched, and noticed a slight heaviness in his arms. That's weird, he thought. Then suddenly another thought hit him. Wait, muscle weakness. That was one of the symptoms. His heart skipped a beat. Over the next few days, Ethan became hyper-aware of his body. Every sensation felt amplified. A slight headache turned into a warning sign. A moment of tiredness became a symptom. A random twitch in his leg felt like confirmation. He went to a doctor. After a full checkup, blood tests, and scans, the doctor smiled reassuringly. "Ethan, you're completely fine. There's nothing wrong with you." Ethan forced a smile back. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely. You're in great health." For a moment, Ethan felt relief, but as he walked out of the clinic, a thought crept back in. What if they missed something? Days turned into weeks. Ethan couldn't stop thinking about the disease. He spent hours online reading forums, watching videos, and comparing symptoms. And the more he read, the worse he felt. His fatigue increased. His headaches became frequent. His body felt weaker. He stopped going to the gym. "What's the point?" he muttered one day. "If I'm already getting sick." His friends noticed the change. "Hey man, you've been quiet lately. You okay?" his friend Jason asked. Ethan hesitated. "I think something's wrong with me." Jason laughed lightly. "You? Dude, you're healthier than all of us." Ethan didn't laugh. "You don't understand." Soon, Ethan started missing work. At first, just a day here and there, then a week, then more. He convinced himself he needed rest, but the rest didn't help. If anything, it made things worse. His body felt heavier, his energy drained faster. Even simple tasks like walking to the kitchen felt exhausting. He went back to the doctor. Again, the same result. "Ethan, we've run every test. There's no illness." Frustration filled his voice. "Then why do I feel like this?" The doctor paused, then said gently, "Sometimes the mind is more powerful than we realize." Ethan didn't want to hear that. To him, the pain felt real. The weakness felt real. How could it just be in his head? Months passed. Ethan's world became smaller. He stopped meeting friends. He stopped working. He barely left his apartment. The healthy, energetic man he once was felt like a distant memory. One evening, sitting alone in the dim light of his living room, Ethan looked at his reflection in the mirror. Pale, tired, broken. Tears filled his eyes. "This is it," he thought. "This is how it ends." But life has a strange way of interrupting our darkest moments. The next day there was a knock on his door. It was his older sister, Rachel. She walked in, looked around, and immediately sensed something was wrong. "Ethan, what happened to you?" He tried to explain the disease, the symptoms, the fear. She listened quietly, then she asked one simple question: "Who told you you're sick?" "The internet. My symptoms, everything points to it." "And what did the doctors say?" "They said I'm fine." Rachel stepped closer. "Then why are you choosing to believe fear over facts?" Ethan stayed silent. Her voice softened. "You didn't get sick overnight, Ethan, but you started believing something overnight." She pointed to his head. "This is powerful, powerful enough to heal you or destroy you." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Her words echoed in his mind. Why are you choosing to believe fear over facts? For the first time in months, he questioned his own thoughts. What if the problem wasn't his body? What if it was his belief? The next morning, something changed. Not dramatically, but slightly. Instead of checking symptoms, Ethan did something different. He went for a short walk. It was hard. His legs felt heavy. His body resisted, but he kept going. 5 minutes turned into 10. 10 turned into 15. And when he returned home, he felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. A small spark of energy. Days turned into weeks again, but this time in a different direction. Ethan slowly rebuilt his routine. Short walks became longer ones. He returned to the gym, lightly at first. He started meeting friends again, and little by little, his symptoms began to disappear. The fatigue faded, the headache stopped, the weakness vanished. Months later, Ethan stood in front of the same mirror, but this time he saw a different man. Stronger, healthier, alive. He smiled, not because life was perfect, but because he finally understood something powerful his mind had almost destroyed him, and then saved him. Your brain doesn't always know the difference between reality and belief. Feed it fear, and it will create suffering. Feed it strength, and it will create healing. Sometimes, the biggest battle isn't outside, it's inside your own mind. If this story touched you, like, share, and subscribe for more powerful motivational stories from Dream Tales.